Hey guys, I know this is a kind of unusual video. So, here's the thing. I got just a little burnt out from I already forgot what it's called. I have bad memory, I'm sorry guys. I got a little burnt out from Obey Me, because, it's a little tedious at times, And, honestly, I want to finish the fucking video thing, the audio reading. It's kind of hard to do things and make myself do things. And I'm not sure why. I guess it's my ADHD or something. And most of the time when I do finally get myself to do things, it's me doing catch up on school. So I decided I'd just make a little short video right now. This is a theory, and if you could read the title, about basically the end. Well, okay, so if you've seen Henry Stickman, spoilers first off, Henry Stickman completing the mission. In completing the mission, there is a button in one of the endings. Well, not in the ending, it's in one of the parts of one of the endings. That, paths, whatever. It's the multiverse imbalancing. And what it does is it defragments the multiverse. And the thing is, this is only possible because, this is only possible when you've gotten outright failed. Otherwise, you can't even press it. Now, this is going to be a short theory because there's not much to explain here. I'm not going to, explain the history of all these fucking terms I'm using. But basically, here's my theory of what this means, what it does. Because it says it's defragmenting the universe and all that. If you haven't seen it, go look it up. So, what I believe what's happening is we see in every time Henry Stickman uses the teleporter, he gets more and more hesitant. Until, even in completing the mission, he just says, fuck it. Which would mean that, every fail you get actually happens. It's a thing. It's a timeline. Every time you fail, you create another timeline. So, it's basically theory of every action you do makes another timeline where you did that action, then a timeline where you didn't do that action. There's a timeline where Henry picks the teleporter and gets his dick stuck in a wall, and there's a timeline where Henry doesn't pick the teleporter. But then you pick the wrecking ball. So now there's a timeline where Henry picks the teleporter. There's a timeline where Henry picks the wrecking ball, and he loses both times. But then you pick the right answer. And now there's a timeline where Henry picks the right answer. But, so since you've completed every fail, you've created all of these, so many timelines. The multiverse is at its capacity, as it says. The multiverse is at its capacity. There are too many timelines that it can't handle anymore. So, what happens is basically, when it defragments it, it's taking all the fragments, all the other timelines, and it's putting them together. It's basically, I'm pretty sure what's happening is it's basically erasing all of them and going back in time. And then it detects the anomaly. And then it detects the anomaly, which I believe what happens here is, the anomaly is that, Henry Stickman doesn't have the package, so they have to give it to him. Now, you may wonder, how is that an anomaly? Doesn't he always get the package in the normal universe? So why would resetting the universe suddenly cause an anomaly where he doesn't? Well, this is where my theory of, not my theory, but this is where I think non-linear timelines come into play. At least I think they're called non-linear timelines. I'm not exactly sure. A non-linear timeline is a timeline in which, basically, the past doesn't happen first. It's, kind of hard to understand, but basically, what I'm saying is that in order for the present to happen, something happened in the future that affected the past. Another example of this, besides the Henry Stickman one, would be a theory where if you've if you've watched My Hero Academia, you know there are multiple users of One For All, right? And one looks shockingly like Bakugo. There's a theory that Bakugo went back in time using Eri, somehow or a quirk of will to do that, and became a second holder. Now, the way this theory works is that so it's kind of hard to explain, but you kind of get the point, right? The past didn't happen until the future okay. You see, I didn't do a lot of research on this. I've only heard about this a few times. But it's basically like I say, the future affects the past, which makes the past do something that causes the present. So basically, the order of time would be future, past, and present. And now, you might be asking, how is that possible? I'm not exactly sure. But it could also be part of, like, the last Thursday theory, I forgot what it was called. Where basically, existence started, like, last Wednesday, and everything else beyond that is, past that, is just a memory. That could be how it works. There's also the fact that time is, like, it's hard to explain, because technically, it already happened, but it still needs to happen? Like, okay, I'm no expert in this, so, that's why I'm kind of getting caught up, but you get the point. The theory is that Henry Stickman will, every time you fail, you create all these multiverses. Multiverse reached a capacity. You couldn't have any more timelines. So, not all these multiverses, all the timelines. So you fix it, and this is a non-linear timeline where the future happened first, affected the past, so the present could be where it is now. Which is Henry Stickman getting any of these endings. That's basically all I have to say. There's not much more to it. I just thought of this randomly while I was watching a Henry Stickman playthrough, and bye. Have a good day, and I'll try to upload sometimes.